Hello, everybody, and welcome. We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome board members, staff, appellates, and citizens to the July 8th meeting. Who can believe it's July 8th already? Amazing. These months just fly by. Introduction of the staff. To my right, we have Donna Witt, our administrative planner. Hi, Donna. Shad Annis next to Donna. He's our associate planner. To my left, we have Krista Hill, our senior planner. Derek Spear, our city planner. In the front row to my left, we have Ken Prince, our executive director. And next to Ken is David Bent, our legal counsel. Donna, would you please call for the roll?
Mike Compton. Adam Gersbauer.
Here.
Joel Dindu.
Here.
Denise Graves. Here. Chris Torty.
Here. Thank you for that. And there is a quorum. 3 votes are needed to move things along. There's 4 of us here, so we are in good shape. And all items are pass-fail. We got 2 developmental variances and a sign variance. So moving right into it, we'll look at the rules of procedure, which are up on the screen and to my right and to my left. Note that we do all of our speaking at the podium. If you would please come up and leave your name and address very clearly so Donna could take that into record, that would be very much appreciated. So first, we'll hear a presentation by the appellant. For each item, we will ask those participating in the room to speak first, followed by those participating online. I do believe we have some people online tonight. Yes? No? Doesn't sound like we do. I thought we did. Then we'll hear those who wish to speak in favor of the appeal, those who wish to speak against the appeal. And if you're not sure if you're speaking for or against and you just have general questions, you can ask them at the against section. We'll accumulate all of our questions and we'll have a right or rebuttal by the appellant. We'll have a board discussion and then a board vote. The previous minutes, June, were distributed. Were there any corrections or additions to those? None. All those in favor of approving June minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Sounds like all of us. The minutes are approved. Is there any conflict of interest on any of the board members tonight? Nope. Okay, we'll roll right into the first one. The first one, we have an appeal 25-15, an appeal submitted by Helen Norris and Caitlin Durning requesting a developmental variance for 5614 Strauss Court, Mishawaka, Indiana, to allow for a rear yard setback for a deck. Hi, is there somebody here to speak on this? I believe this is the one that was supposed to be online. Any action online? Thumbs down?
She didn't know she'd have.
Country, right?
Correct.
Okay, you know what? I'll call for it again at the end, and if not, we'll move it along in case she pops in, okay? Let me know if she does, please. Okay, we'll hold off on 25-15. We'll move right along to appeal 25-16, an appeal submitted by Connie Wendt requesting a developmental variance for 1222 Alex Way, Mishawaka, Indiana, to allow for a rear yard setback on a double frontage lot for a shed. Hi, come on up.
Hi, Connie Wendt, W-E-N-D-T. I live at 1222 Alex Way. And as you can see, the lot is not a regular sized lot, so there's not a whole lot of places to put the shed. And I'm trying to stay away from the buried utilities that are like right against the house on both sides. And we think we found a spot. It's like 17 feet from Cedar, so it wouldn't be blocking anybody's vision trying to get out on Cedar. It would be about 17 or 18 feet from the neighbor next to me, so it wouldn't be anywhere close to her property. And the fence would probably be about 15 feet from Cedar, or 14, 15 feet from Cedar. And that also would give plenty of room to see to get out. So we just need permission for that.
Okay, and I'm just going to read this. I want to make sure this jives with what you want to do. So allow for a 12-by-16 shed with a 10-foot rear setback and a 6-foot high opaque privacy fence with an 8-foot rear setback along Cedar Street, right? Okay.
Yes.
And you haven't started this project yet, have you?
No, we started on the gravel pad, but then
Okay.
when I didn't know you had to have a permit, so we stopped. We
Oh,
didn't
okay.
finish the gravel pad, so we just stopped and came down here, and then that's when they said, no, you need to do more, so we're
Good.
doing more.
Well, you're kind of doing it the right way, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances.
Good, 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 good. Is there any other questions?
No.
Nope. Okay, well, thank you for the presentation. Is there anybody else in the room or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 25-16? Is there anybody in opposition to Appeal 25-16? Is there any additional information, Mr.
No,
City
no
planner,
additional
no.
information.
Okay, then I'll close the public hearing, and I will call for a motion. 25-16.
I move that we approve Appeal 25-16.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. The second was Denise. so-
Hello?
Oh, hello, hold off. We'll work you in, okay?
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, sounds good. We have a motion and a second. Would you please call for the vote?
Adam Gersbauer,
Yes.
Joel Dindu,
Yes.
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Chris Torty.
Yes, and Appeal 25-16 passes. Thank you for the presentation. And would you be okay with us squeaking this in? Because I believe she's out of the country. Okay, so let's jump back to Appeal 25-15, and it sounds like you're online. And if I'll go ahead and read that. An appeal submitted by Helen Norris and Caitlin Durning requesting a developmental variance for 5614 Strauss Court, Mishawaka, Indiana, to allow for a rear yard setback for a deck. So Appeal 25-15. Sounds like you're online. If you could give us your name and address and tell us about this, that would be great. Hello? Appeal 25-15. If you're on mute, unmute. Going once. Do you have anybody back there? Oh, okay. It sounds like you're on, but if you can unmute, we can't hear you. Hello, technical difficulties. Well, you might want to try to call in one more time, and we'll maybe keep you on hold.
Yes.
Yes, I hear you.
I lost you for,
Okay, tell us about your appeal.
so I wanted to build a deck and apparently I didn't realize there's only a foot behind my, the backside of my house. I do have a slab that's about 12 by 12 there already. And when I came into the zoning board, I was advised of this and it was told I needed to apply for the variance, which is what I did.
Okay, and can we have your name and address, please?
Helen Norris, 5614 Strauss Court, Granger, Indiana, 46530.
Perfect. Thank you for dialing in, and I appreciate that. And it looks like you've worked with the staff, and the staff does recommend approval of this appeal. Is there any other questions for Ms. Norris on this? No? Thank you for your presentation. Is there anybody in the room or online that wishes to speak in favor of Appeal 25-15?
That would just be me.
Oh, no, I think you did your job.
Is there any paperwork that I need for this to pick up at the office?
Yeah, you would need to pick up the permit at the office.
Okay, and do I need to, yeah, so that would be the permit then as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Okay.
Yep, thank you so much for your time and appreciate you dealing with this
Oh, yeah, no
international
problem.
call.
No problem. I like to
Okay.
make sure we get through these and get the city's business moving along. So thank you for your presentation. Is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition to Appeal 25-15? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing, and I will take a motion on 25-15.
Make a motion to approve 2515.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Donna, would you please call for the vote?
Adam Gersbauer,
Yes.
Joel Dendu,
Yes.
Denise Graves.
Yes.
Chris Torty.
Yes, and 25-15 passes. Thank you. Last one on the agenda, Appeal 25-17, submitted by School City of Mishawaka requesting a sign variance for 1202 Lincoln Way East, Mishawaka, Indiana, to allow for oversized directional signs.
That's it.
Good evening, Mr. President, honorable board members. Greg Hicksonball, 3405 Greenwood Drive here in Mishawaka, and this evening I appear in front of you as the attorney for School City of Mishawaka in this matter. With me this evening as well as Dr. Jessica Mann, who is the associate principal at Mishawaka High School and is also available to answer any questions that you may have. We are once again in front of you as part of the school corporation's ongoing effort to promote the efficient use of and access to the campus of Mishawaka High School. As was the case in the past, as we are involved in that effort, what we run afoul of is the zoning ordinance. Since the school property is zoned R1, signage is not allowed, and yet again, we're here asking for your favorable approval of the affixation of some signs to the property. In this instance, the proposal relates to 5 directional signs, as is detailed in our appeal and the staff report, that are going to be placed throughout the campus with your approval. We've attached some visual depictions of the location of the signs to our documents, and they're also incorporated in the staff report. But I have hot off the presses, as they say, some additional schematics and designs from the sign company. So with your permission, Mr. President, I'd like to approach and distribute these to the board.
Great. Thank you.
As you will see, none of these signs, unlike one of our prior requests, are illuminated. And they're designed to, again, direct patrons both on the interior of the property and then as they are accessing the grounds through their vehicles with regard to notable locations on site. For example, the cave, the East Gym, a frequent popular spot on the campus. We want to make sure that people can arrive at their destination in the most efficient way possible. So it serves a purpose not only for students, staff, and others who are visiting during the school day, but given the after-school uses of Mishawaka High School, we believe that this also promotes the efficient use of the property at that point in time. The school corporation agrees with the recommendations that have been made by the staff in their report, as well as the concern that was expressed by the engineering department with regard to line of sight. And the document that I distributed to you this evening really tries to get at that line of sight and issues related to the right-of-way. The school corporation certainly agrees that none of these signs, if approved, should be placed in the right-of-way to the point where it would be counterproductive to the goal that we've identified as part of this proposal. So we'll certainly work with staff in the city in the permitting process, if these signs are approved, to make sure that they don't become a problem for traffic and for others using the property. So as indicated in the staff's proposed findings of fact, we agree that this appeal is consistent with the requirements of the underlying statute. We would ask for your favorable approval of our appeal. Once again, I want to thank Krista Hill for her assistance throughout this process. As always, she has been very helpful. And with that, we would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you for the presentation. And the sign looks very high quality and fits the school nicely. Just a quick question on the content that's in the sign. Is it in reference to somebody driving or somebody walking?
I believe it's both. It'll serve dual purposes so that with the size of the sign, not everybody will be able to see it as they're in their vehicle and they're accessing the property in that manner. But once they're parked in the designated location, I myself have witnessed, as many of you have, people who are perhaps new to the high school, visiting for the first time, who aren't quite sure which gym they're going to watch their kids participate in an athletic event. Or if they're going to the auditorium, that isn't always apparent to people who are new to the property. So it will, we believe, not only aid with vehicular traffic, but more with that foot traffic once people access the property and exit their vehicles.
But I guess my question is, if somebody's going to like Natatorium or West Gym and they're driving, does that mean they can park there, or do they have to follow the arrow that says go to the visitor parking first?
They'll have to park in the designated locations because, as you know, there isn't unlimited
Right.
parking in various locations. It would, again, be counterproductive if people could pull up, even outside of the athletic department. There's a loading dock there. It's basically a circular drive that people can use to access the interior of the property. So parking in the designated location is always the intent of the sign and of the high school and the school corporation with regard to people using the property. These signs just supplement
Yep.
people's access to the correct location once they exit their vehicle.
Gotcha.
Greg, if I didn't pay attention to this, I'm sorry. But did you say anything about lighting, or no?
I did, but that's okay. I probably mumbled, Mrs. Graves, so now let's blame it on me. These signs are not going to be
Okay.
illuminated.
All right.
So will they be visible based upon the inherent lighting of the property? Yes, but they aren't going to be individually illuminated like one of the other signs
Yeah.
that we brought before you has been.
Right, because some of them I see there's some lighting behind and around there. And I like that they included Eberhard Golf Course. That's very nice of you guys.
And Dr. Mann was kind enough to clarify for me that they also are going to be reflective. So for those vehicles as they access the property and the inherent lighting of the high school grounds, while they're not illuminated, we believe that they're going to be readily visible to all patrons when they're on the property.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Hicksonbaugh? Oh, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the room or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 25-17? Is there anybody in the room or online wishing to speak in opposition to Appeal 25-17? Is there any additional information, Mr. City Planner?
None.
And we'll close the public hearing, and I'll take a motion on Appeal 25-17.
I move to approve 25-17.
We have a motion and a second. Denise was the second. Donna, would you please call for the vote?
Adam Gersbauer,
Yes.
Joel Dindu,
Yes.
Denise Graves,
Yes,
Chris Torty.
Yes, and Appeal 25-17 passes. Thank you for the presentation. Is there any old business, Mr. City Planner?
None.
New?
None.
Privilege of the floor. Okay, then I will call for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.